Hi, friends, and welcome to Costuming in Color. This week, we have a special episode for you. Noelle and I went to New York City last week and had a really great time. So we want to share that with you because we actually met up with some other costumers of color while there, some who are familiar to you by us interviewing them on the show, so you can get updates about them, and some who we haven't had on the show that I actually got to meet for the first time in New York. What?
Who have we not had on the show?
Oh, the white people.
Yeah, the white people. Yeah,
we've had all the costumers of color on the show. Yeah. Danny, yeah, all of them. Okay, never mind.
All of them were there. We had like a costuming in color, like tiny meetup.
All the people of color have been on the show, so that's awesome. I forgot we don't have white people.
I'm the only white person here.
It's true. So you'll get to catch up with all of them during our New York 2021 takeover. The point of us going was to see an amazing exhibit at the Met Museum on the Medici. And while we were there, we decided, hey, if all these other people are going to be there, we should get together for a dinner that Dandy put on. So we'll show you some pictures, and we'll put a link below to the video that Dandy will be putting up about that dinner as well. All right, so you wanna say a few words, Noelle?
I had a really good time. It was amazing. I got to hang out with lots of people who I've only met through Zoom and lots of people who I have met before. So it was really fun. And I got to room with Gigi and Erika. Erika has been on this show before, and that was awesome. And we had a really good time. And we stayed up way too late every night giggling. And Gigi was our adult supervision for most of the week. And I feel really bad about that, but kind of not.
I think it's the natural evolution of things. When I go on a trip with two other people, like we all have our roles, and I'm usually like the mothering one.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
and Erika and I were just like through the whole city.
But it was so much fun because when I go to exhibits, I'm really serious. I'm like, oh, look at this artwork, thinking about history, and they're just like, look at his codpiece. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is serious stuff. Anyway, you'll see. So you want to jump right into it? When we got there, it was pretty late that first night. So I think our video starts the next morning at the lobby brunch breakfast place called Friedman. Hey, you guys, guess where we are?
In New York.
Yes, and we're reporting live from Friedman's as we get breakfast. This is our first day in New York, and so instead of doing the traditional interview video for this week, we're actually just gonna tell you what we're hanging out in New York doing. We were meeting a bunch of other costumers of color, reenactors of color, living historians of color,
and white people.
They're always around, right? They're
always white people.
Anyway,
I'm here.
So after breakfast today, we're going to rest a little bit more, and then we're gonna go see a Broadway show. So we'll tell you more about that later.
Look who else we got. This is our room buddy. There's three of us in our room. We're also trying to eat breakfast right now, so you're gonna get handed back and forth between the two of us. We have a lot of food here. This is my bacon, a lot of bread. Yum, Gigi's breakfast. Yum, Erika's breakfast.
This is like the healthiest I'm pretending to be for this trip.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Later that day, we went to see my first Broadway show, not hers, but mine. We went to see Six, which is about Henry VIII's 6 wives.
It was really good. Like, I enjoyed that immensely. It was very fun. It's weird because it's only 80 minutes and there's no intermission. So it's kind of a weird Broadway show in some ways because that's not how they normally go. They're normally much longer, but it was really good. It was really well done and well produced and historically vaguely accurate, sort of. I mean, the things that they told you were accurate, but they left out a lot of things.
Yeah. They edited for content. And one of the things I liked about that being my first one was it was really short, right? So I didn't feel like I was trapped in the theater for a long time because it was also one of my first outings since the pandemic started. So I didn't know how I was going to do being indoors with a bunch of people, but it was very nice. So we have some pictures of the set for you, and then we have a little video of us outside we want to show you. After Six, we went back to meet up with our friend Jeff, who we interviewed, I don't know, a lot. It feels like a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was at
Beginning of
least
the
6 months
show.
ago. Yeah.
So it was great to catch up with him, to actually meet him in person, to hug him. We went for drinks, and then we went back to the room to like sit down and talk. And so here's a little video of us in the room. He actually let us handle some of the garments, the hanbok that he makes. And so you'll see that on the video.
He gave me some of his fabric.
Hey, it's me and Noelle and Erika and Jeff. And she's getting to actually touch some of the things that Jeff has made that he wears on a regular basis. This is, I say hanbok when I read it, but is it hanbok?
Yeah, it's like a long
Hanbok. So, it's just so, it's interesting we interviewed Jeff, right? But now we're actually meeting him, hanging out with him, and then feeling like the handiwork. And so she was touching this, you said it's mulberry?
Yeah,
It's mulberry paper. It's Korean. And it makes this, then this is like the neckline of the garment. And it makes it stiff.
Yeah.
Like, not just stiff, but like stiff. So it holds this beautiful shape like around his neck so beautifully, and because it's a contrasting color also makes it stand out against the rest of his garments. This is like the craziest wool. It's like soft and also incredibly spiky, like at the same time. Like, touch it, rub your hand on it.
Oh, you're right.
It's like a porcupine you really want to pet.
It's almost like, yeah.
Right? And then like you can go in these sleeves and there's like silk lining. So beautiful.
Detailing.
And the sleeve is really cool because it's like the hole for your arm is up here, but then there's this whole underpiece, and I keep wanting to put a pocket in there, like 100%. Like, I really want to
do you keep things in there?
Oh yeah, those are my pockets.
Yeah, I want to put an additional pocket in
pens,
there.
pencils.
And it doesn't like come out the other way?
Nope.
You can't get two birds.
Because if you look at the other sleeve, it's trapped in, oh no, sorry, the end near the trunk, it's trapped. You can't.
Oh, it is trapped.
You can't.
Oh, so it's a square here.
Yeah, that's like with kimono when it's women's garments, how it's open, we're completely sealed in.
That's amazing.
So
one thing I wanted to say was, one reason that I'm here, that Noelle and I are here, and Erika's here, and that Jeff's here, is that we're getting together. We are interested in hanging out with customers of color. Noelle and I interview customers of color because we want to introduce more of you to them and them to you. But it's the pandemic, right? There's not a lot of events, there's not a lot of times that you can actually get together with them. So what I want to encourage you to do is reach out to your friends who are other people of color, who have interests similar to yours, and just hang out. Decide you're going to go to Chicago together, 4 of you, get a hotel room, dress up and go out to a fancy dinner, hang out in your hotel room like we're doing right now, and just be together. Create safe spaces for yourselves, support each other, listen to each other, love each other. That's, I guess, what we're trying to encourage, and we're trying to lead by example. So this weekend is all about that, and I'm so happy to be here with Erika and Noelle and Jeff. The love in this room right now, even though it's our messy little room, it's just, stop biting me. It's just, it's palpable. Like, you guys hear Jeff say, touch my face? No. What are you supposed to do with your hands? You're supposed to touch Jeff's face. All right, guys. So that was the night that it was our first real full day in New York. I do want to apologize. This is my first time ever filming with the Canon camera that my husband bought me, and the autofocus was not my friend, and I wasn't aware of like how to make it focus. So there's going to be some times when it goes out of focus during this video, but I promise I will get better in future videos when we are doing vlogging. The next day we went to Staten Island to go to Enoteca Maria to see the Nonnas of the world. So this is a restaurant started by Maria, who's an Italian grandmother. And she is the stock chef who's there all the time, but she hosts grandmothers from all different cultures. They come in, they make their dishes. And the night that we went, there was going to be a grandma from Japan. So we're going to show you that now.
on the Staten Island ferry. We've done nothing today. Like, we basically slept in and hung out, and it's Friday. All right, so we're gonna go to this restaurant where grandmas come. There's like no the chef is the grandma, and so it's always one Italian grandma, Nonna Maria, and then they have guest grandmas come, and tonight's grandma is Japanese. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Nonna
Yuki is gonna feed us Japanese food if we want.
And they cook their home recipes and stuff. It's really cute.
You have to go to Staten Island for it, but you get to go on the Staten Island ferry and you get to see the Statue of Liberty super close, and you can't see anything.
Best view of the Statue of Liberty you're ever gonna get.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Like, we were right next to it. Are we gonna see it on the way back too?
Yeah, we can see it on the way back. It'll just be dark.
Okay, but it'll be lit up, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll film it on the way back for you guys. But yeah, this is gonna be some tasty grubs.
Yum, yum.
Yum, yum. Okay, this is the grandma restaurant. These are my friends having potential water beverages. And I ordered some ramen and also some, what was my thing that I ordered?
Ricotta crostini.
Whipped ricotta crostini.
Yes.
But she says it with a cute accent that I don't have. I say it with, as Dandy Wellington says, caucasity. So we're gonna get some Nami food, and I'll be back with you for Staten Island round 2.
The next day after the Nonas, we went with a group fabric shopping in the garment district. So I'm gonna let Noelle tell you a little bit about that.
So Saturday we went down to where all the fabric stores are. We got to, some of the places were closed that we wanted to go to, so we actually went fabric shopping a few times, but we just lumped them all in together as one big fabric. This whole trip was a fabric shopping trip. I have commentary on the New York fabric district, which is that I live close enough to LA, and LA is so much bigger and has so much more stuff. And what New York does have though is trim. Like, they have really beautiful trim. East Coast trimming has a bunch of antique trim. They also have the old Makuba stock. For those of you who know what Makuba is, it's a trim store with like some pretty bougie Japanese trim. But they also have antique stuff at that store. It's an absolutely gorgeous store to go into. They also in New York have wool that you just don't get in LA. It's heckin' expensive. What I will say is, like, the rest of the fabric selection is pretty much on par with LA. It's slightly more expensive than LA. You can't haggle in the way you can in LA to get discounts and stuff. And LA has probably, I would say, 3 to 5 times more stores. So in some ways, like, New York wasn't a big shopping fabric trip for me personally, but there's a whole bunch of East Coasters that were on this trip that were pretty hyped to get into any fabric district. And so they had a really good time. I think Nami was like 8 purchases in 5 stores somehow when I ran into her the first time. So yeah, you can get some great fabric in the fabric district. There's a lot of stores full of like spangly stuff, and you might go, oh, that's not the store that I want to go in. Just go in anyway. There's always stuff that you're going to want to see in the back of the store somehow. Like, they put all the sparkly stuff in the front, but the other stuff that you know, if you're into sparkle, that's the place to go. But if you go into the back of the store, there's frequently a lot of linen, silk, wool, that kind of stuff there too. So definitely, like, not bashing on the New York fabric district. It's just I'm spoiled because I have LA near me. My preference is always LA.
And so we're going to cut to kind of a montage of the different times we went and the different fabrics we saw. Enjoy.
Everybody say hi. Hello.
Also, while we were there, something kind of magical happened, which was that Jeff showed us a picture of a gown that he wanted to recreate into a hanbok sort of garment. And we ended up getting the fabric for that while he was there. And then 2 days later, he had the entire hanbok made and ready to go and wore it to the Met exhibit. And he went to the party on Saturday night. So it was really like 1 day later. It was amazing. Like that's pure magic. I mean, as you all know, it takes me a day to just like tidy my craft room to get it ready to sew. He made an entire garment. So that night was Saturday night, and that is the night that Dandy Wellington put a little soiree together for us. The party initially was more like we were going to New York to see this Met exhibit. And then we were like, oh, well, if we're all going to be in town, we should like make sure that we have like at least one dinner with everybody, including everyone who's like lives in New York, because it was the weekend and that's available. Because we didn't really hang out with the New Yorkers. We went from Wednesday to Wednesday. We didn't really hang out with New Yorkers except on the weekends, because that's when they were available and not, having their daily life happen. So, Dandy said, well, what if I put together a little soiree for us? And we were all, you should do that. And then he's like, what if we can get that sponsored? And we were like, yeah, you should do that. So that's what happened with the party. It was sort of a thing that like wasn't the intent of the trip, but kind of came together, and we were all very, very excited to have that happen, because it made all the New Yorkers make sure to attend.
All right, so we're going to put in some photos of the party, and then we're going to put a description below to Dandy's video of the party if you want to see more about that.
So we're getting ready for the party. I think we are almost all ready, and we'll be leaving in the next 10 minutes. I'm very excited. I tried to dress up as fancy as I could in a 1940s outfit with my fancy Liwa mask that Jeff told me all about. And oh, guess who else is here?
What's up?
And look, we're sparkly, and we're all made up. Hi guys, we are coming to you live from 48th Street? 46th Street, on our way to Brooklyn. And in the car we have Bernadette, we have Jeff, we have Noelle, and we have Erika.
Hello.
Say hi. And what's our driver's name?
What's your name? Sir? What's your name?
Wilton.
Wilton is driving us tonight.
Go to Brooklyn, right?
Yep, going to Brooklyn.
All right, good. Let's go.
After the party, we all went back to the hotel, and it was so much fun just decompressing, getting into pajamas after you've been in like restrictive clothing, and just having fun, talking to your friends.
We had the other out-of-towners in there.
Yeah.
So Sunday we went to brunch at noon, which was something.
The best we could do.
Yeah, it was the best we could do is the best phrase to use. We were all up till at least 5 in the room talking Saturday night. So Sunday was a bit of a mess, but we had brunch and it was very amusing. And then after that, we took a nap for quite a bit of time. And then we went to see Moulin Rouge, which just won a bunch of Tony Awards. So we all went to go see that. There was a crazy line to get into Moulin Rouge. So the lines in the theaters, get to your theaters early now, people, because there is definitely, it takes longer to check vaccine cards and stuff like that. So anyway, we luckily got there super early and got in just in time. So Abby, Nicole, Cheyney, and Morgan also were at that show. So that was fun. And we got to see it. It was great. And then we went to EAK Ramen for dinner, which is down the street in Restaurant Alley. There are a bunch of EAK ramens around the city. I highly recommend EAK Ramen for ramen. It is like great. That is what I'm going to say. It's just great ramen. So
here's a time-lapse video of the line, just so you know we're not joking. and some information from EAK Ramen.
What up? We at Ramen. Ramen in the house. Going around the circle. We got a Morgan. We got a Cheyney. We got a Nami. We got an Erika. And a Nicole. And a Gigi. We're having fun. We got some ramen. What is this place called? EAK? There's several EAK ramens in this city. And I'm telling you, it's bomb. You should get some for sure. But this one is right down the street from our hotel, so it's fantastic. We saw Moulin Rouge. We all have thoughts.
All the sparkles. So many sparkles. Everything was sparkly.
The sets were great. The dancing was great. A lot of the music was great.
I want that set in my house.
The male lead.
And he won like that.
Yeah, he was so good. However,
And I'm gonna stop Noelle right there. However, nothing. However, nothing. It was great. And that's that. So the next day we went to the Met to see the Medici exhibit. And I'm gonna insert some video and some photos of the whole exhibit and also of the hanbok that Jeff made.
Hey you guys, we are at the Met, which is the point of our whole trip here. Going to the antiquarian dinner was a great other thing to do, but I really came here to see all of the amazing things upstairs at the Met and the Medici exhibit, including the Pisa gown. So Noelle is to thank, because I would not have taken this trip alone during COVID. It's my first trip in over 18 months. Guess who else we have here? I'm still awake. Erika's still awake. We're all, it's early for us, but I'm super excited. Erika!
we're here discussing this boy because he is obviously a black man, and people are arguing about this, whether or not he is or is not a black man, and we're like, but look at him.
Hey you guys.
Hello.
So we have completed the Medici exhibit, and it was she learned a lot.
I did.
There are chefs.
There are chefs.
We will go into that when we do the full video later, because it's a lot to explain and you need the visual pictorial evidence. But I think everyone enjoyed themselves today.
We're putting that in the internet?
Yes.
It's a hard flex.
It's not obscene.
No. It's hard flex. Anyway.
It's art.
Okay.
It's history.
It is. That's an old penis.
Alright, so we're at the cafe in the Met. We're eating with some friends, and then we're gonna go for Korean barbecue tonight. So you'll see us a little bit later.
Okay.
Alright, doing a pan. Say hi. Can you say hi?
Oh. You want to talk about the shaft?
I think we should. I think it needs some context, and I need you to tell everyone there was no disclaimer. Like, we just walked up on it with no warning.
So Gigi's gonna put a picture on the screen right now of the painting in question that we rolled up on. And how I encountered this painting was actually through the video screen of a giant iPad in the hands of a 65 to 70-year-old woman who was hard zooming on a very specific part of this painting. And we couldn't get over that. Like, it was giggles from then on, because this older woman decided that was the part of the painting that she wanted to take home with her. I get it. The guy was showing a tasteful amount of shaft in this painting, just like not giving away the whole store.
Is there such a thing?
Just a little sample sale of what's on offer should you want to encounter this gentleman. But we could not get over a tasteful amount of shaft being shown, and then the hard zoom. It was a flex though. Like, I mean, if you're gonna have a painting painted and you got the painter there, and you got to stand with this like gently draped towel over you while he paints this painting. It's a hard flex. That's what I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. And so
That took hours to paint like that.
we've seen it. You've seen it. You can't unsee it now.
You can't unsee it. Okay, so then after that, we went back for a nap, and then we had some Korean barbecue and fulfilled all of my Jeff dreams. It was amazing.
So Korean barbecue. This is my first time at a real Korean barbecue place.
What'd you think?
And so tasty. Everything was full of flavor. And we have video of them barbecuing some brisket right in front of us. Just
So we don't actually have a lot of like footage and stuff for Tuesday because Tuesday was sort of our like bumming around town day. We went and picked up a few bits and bobs that we needed at the fabric district left over. I got some more frog chalk. It's a waxy chalk that you use to mark your garments with when you're sewing. But for the most part, we just hung out, and then we split up actually at some point, and you went out to dinner with Cheyney and Latoya, who happened to also, I mean, Cheyney lives there, but Latoya was in town, so that's pretty cool.
I got to see Cheyney and Latoya, who is known as Ellie Tools, on my last full night there. It was a lot of fun to sit down with them. We went to Maison Harlem and had some great steak and some great conversation. So yeah, that was a good ending to my New York costuming and color trip. We did go for drinks. I did meet you guys for drinks after that because I thought
we went to this place for dinner called Maison Pickle. So we were both at Maison's, and we were actually pretty close to each other, weirdly. So we went to Maison Pickle, and a bunch of us had some pretty good food, but then we went to the Maison Pickle owns that tiki bar we went to. So we went to a tiki bar that Dandy knows the owners of, and we had some cocktails, and it was a good time. It was a great way to like wind that trip down.
Agreed.
We drank out of giant palm trees. Erika and I got slushy drinks.
They were like, Gigi, you have to get a palm tree. And I'm like, no.
She got a palm tree.
I got a wine glass. They were like, put your wine in a palm tree.
Lady's like, I don't know if I can make that happen. I'm like, you can totally make that happen.
Yeah, she didn't. She didn't. But it was a lot of fun. And then the next day, we flew home.
We flew home. You left so early.
I did.
Like,
I didn't sleep at all.
No, like an hour of sleep that night, and then you were
But it
gone.
was totally worth it. It was my first peopling, right? My first trip since the pandemic started. And although I was anxious about it, anxious about how I was going to feel being around people for the first time and with COVID still being out there, it was great. Every experience I had was great. So I'm glad I went.
You dove right in. I was kind of worried that it would make you upset, but because like when you were at my house, we didn't eat out at all. We brought stuff home to eat every single day. So I was worried that would freak you out, but you dove right in. Like that was awesome. New York, though, is checking your ID and your vaccination card at every indoor thing you could go to. So it does feel very, very safe to be there.
Thank you, New York.
Thank you, New York.
All right, so that is it for this week's episode of Costuming in Color. Thank you for tuning in. Stay safe out there and be excellent to each other.
Bye, guys.